Now on Denver 7 News, a tough start to the season for Colorado college football teams. We're taking a look at what went wrong for the Buffs and the Rams tonight.
Plus, sweetness in Seattle as the Broncos prepare to start the regular season against the Seahawks.
My focus is going to be on joy. My focus is going to be on my teammates and us playing our best football that we can possibly play against a really good football team.
And Broncos country is getting ready for Monday's matchup. We're hearing from some of the dedicated fans making the trip to the Pacific Northwest.
I think the first game, Monday night game, is going to be a good one, and it's going to be a great start for the season.
Good evening, and thanks for watching this post-game edition of Denver 7 News. I'm Bayan Wang.
And I'm Amy Wattis, and it is not just college football tonight. We will get to those highlights in just a second.
But first, a look at the Broncos as they prepare for Monday's matchup in Seattle.
Let's send things over to sports anchor Nick Rothschild. Now, Nick, hopefully the Broncos aren't sleepless in Seattle before Monday's game.
Oh, well, I got to catch a flight in about 10 hours, so I'm going to be sleepless all weekend. But for us Broncos fans, all eyes on the Pacific Northwest this weekend as we approach a football game with about as much interest and intrigue as peak Dan Brown. I'm talking Da Vinci Code status here. With that in mind, no more preamble from me. Let's get right to our version of Robert Langdon, Broncos insider Troy Renck, who's live in Seattle tonight. Troy, Russell Wilson's return is certainly causing a stir in the Emerald City, huh?
Yes, Nick, and welcome here to Seattle. It's quite the dichotomy. I flew out this morning to Seattle. My plane was packed with Broncos fans, many, Nick, telling me that they weren't about to miss Russell Wilson's debut as a Bronco. Can you blame him? There's been 11 starters at quarterback since Peyton Manning. Some made it easier to pass a kidney stone than pass a football. So yeah, they're thrilled. Seattle fans, not so much. Some feel like Russell forced his way out of town with that trade. So what about Russell Wilson returning now to Seattle as a villain? I asked him.
It'll definitely be an experience I've never experienced before, but it'll also be an experience that I'm going to enjoy the journey of it all. You know, my focus is going to be on joy. My focus is going to be on my teammates and us playing our best football that we can possibly play against a really good football team. And that's what we're going to have to do.
He don't let it faze him. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is the old team, his old home. You know, he's very respected in Seattle. You know, but we got to go in there and win. So, you know, I think that's the main goal, just going in there, dominating and doing everything right.
Well, Russell Wilson will be comfortable at Lumen Field, Nick. He's 19-4 in primetime games here, and he'll see a familiar face, receiver Tyler Lockett. I saw Tyler tonight, Nick. He just proposed to his girlfriend about 100 yards from me here at Cary Park, and she said yes. Back to you in the studio.
That's only reporting you get from Troy Renck. Troy, I'm glad you did not crash Tyler Lockett's proposal. Thanks, bud. Plenty more Broncos talk coming up in sports, but you have to see the absolute beatdown Air Force put on CU today. Woof. In case there was any doubt who the top dog in Colorado college football is, the Falcons left no doubt this afternoon down in Colorado Springs. They pummeled new Buffs quarterback JT Shrout. Brad Roberts tied a career high with 3 touchdown runs. And even though Colorado showed life in the second quarter with a nice Deion Smith touchdown run, the Fly Guys put CU on ice in the second half. 41-10 the final. Falcons are 2-0. Buffs fall to 0-2. And up in Fort Collins, the home debut for Jay Norvell looked like it was going to end in abject disaster. Middle Tennessee State, fresh off a butt whooping by James Madison, hung a first half 27 spot on the Rams. But credit to Clay Millen. He lit up the air raid offense in the second half. 3 straight touchdown bombs to Torrey Horton. But the comeback burst was too little too late. Rams let one slip away against the Blue Raiders. Final score 34-19. CSU now 0-2, so no wins to be found between the Rams and Buffs. We're hoping that's not a bad omen for Monday night, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and start saging our state, all right? I'll start in the studio and work my way out. Be right back.
Well, look, hopefully the Broncos have a better start to their season because we're just 2 days away from kickoff in Seattle, but for Broncos country, the journey there begins this weekend.
That's where we find Denver 7's Jason Grenauer. He is in the Seattle airport tonight, keeping an eye out for all the Broncos fans making that trek.
Okay, I know it's early. We still have 2 days until the game actually happens, but here at the Seattle airport, I've seen more fans in Broncos gear than I have in Seahawks gear. They do sell it at the gift shop, that Hawks stuff, the green and the navy, but that's beside the point. We flew with several Broncos fans on our flight from Denver here to Seattle. We met up with even more here at the Seattle airport that made the trip for Monday Night Football. We asked them all a bunch of different things. Well, how are you feeling? What do you think about Russ? What do you think about your team? Why did you come all the way out here to sport your orange and blue? And here's just a sampling of what those fans had to say.
We're feeling good. I think the first game, Monday night game, is going to be a good one, and it's going to be a great start for the season.
You know, we're excited. I think it's going to be a cool atmosphere. I have no idea how they're going to react to Russell Wilson out there, so interesting to see that. But honestly, I think we're a stronger team with him on it, and I'm looking forward to seeing them show that on Monday Night Football.
You can support our team. Russell Wilson, hey, we love Seattle. We got worked in the Super Bowl, which we were there, and we got beat down by Wilson and his team. But now Wilson's on our side, so we're looking to do the same thing to the Seattle Seahawks, man, and take down the Seahawks on Monday night.
And we just had to show you this video of this little one who also made the trek from Denver to Seattle. She may be wearing green, but trust me, she is a Broncos fan giving her best Broncos touchdown. Just got to get the little one a little orange onesie for next time. She's not going to the game. It's just going to be a little bit too loud. Okay, so what's on deck for us here in Seattle? Well, we're going to go out. We're going to see the sights. We're going to talk to the people. Pretty much anyone in orange and blue we're going to try to stop and talk to over the course of the next 2 days, getting you ready from the fan perspective ahead of Monday Night Football. Reporting in Seattle, I'm Jason Grenauer, Denver 7.
Jason, lucky you for getting this assignment. And just a reminder, Denver 7 is your home for the Broncos season opener against Seattle. Our pregame coverage begins right here at 5 p.m. before kickoff at 6:15. We'll also have a post-game show directly after the game.
Now to some other headlines tonight. Hundreds of people in Aurora are displaced from their homes tonight after an explosion at an apartment complex this morning.
Yeah, this was a very scary situation for them. 3 people were taken to the hospital, but luckily their injuries are not life-threatening.
Denver 7's Rob Harris joins us live from the scene in Aurora. Rob, you spoke with some of the residents who are now staying at an emergency shelter tonight.
Yeah, Amy, and they have a lot of questions, as we all do. At this point, we don't know the cause of this explosion. We also don't know when those residents are going to be able to come back home. They've been displaced for the time being. And as of tonight, we're still seeing crews here at the building, up in that part of the building where you can see it's blown out from that explosion. We're seeing crews up there, and we're hearing them working inside, probably investigating, trying to get to the bottom of how this explosion happened. Now, a shelter has been set up by the Red Cross, and we're told hotel rooms are being provided to tenants by the apartment complex. Aurora Police and Fire are working with utility crews to assess the building and try to get to the bottom of what happened.
My hands are shaking right now. That almost hit us.
This is video Lupe Ramirez took just seconds after the explosion in her apartment building.
It blew out.
Yeah, it did.
But it was just like he said, it's a movie, and it's just like it happened, and I'm watching it, but it's like I wasn't there. It was like my body left, and I'm just watching this.
Ramirez lives with her brother Edward and his girlfriend Stephanie Perez. They were still in their pajamas when the fire alarm first went off.
I woke up, got out of the door within the first 10 minutes, and realistically within the next 10 minutes, I was standing directly in front of where the explosion went off, and like it was like a movie to me, man. That the explosion went off. I seen big old particle of the building just flying out about halfway through the parking lot.
It's just a big old. You know, like I was more scared because of the kids. My stepson was literally right in front of it.
At that exact moment, Allison Goodwin was walking away from the building with her dog and fiance.
I heard a loud noise, and I told myself, I just kept walking and saying, don't look back, don't look back. That's your life in there. That's your kid. It's all your kid's clothes. So I kept walking.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
A temporary emergency shelter's been set up by the Red Cross at Gateway High School, just about 5 minutes down the road. And on a cool September day, creating a warm space with warm offerings was the top priority.
People were wearing sandals, like they had no jackets, and it's been cooler today because the last few days we had this warm weather and then all of a sudden went down. So no one was prepared. It was shocking for them.
We were just up close, a little too close for comfort, honestly.
Just pray for us.
So people I talked to say they're thankful ultimately because no one was seriously hurt in this explosion, but they're still facing a lot of unknowns, and they just want to know when they can come back home. In Aurora, I'm Rob Harris, Denver 7.
Thanks, Rob. We're glad everybody's okay. Now, still to come, it's the worst city in Colorado when it comes to car thefts, but city leaders are taking action and it appears to be working. Why Aurora officials say crime levels are dropping in the city.
And we'll introduce you to the newest member of the Denver Sheriff's Department, how she's breaking barriers after the break.